my sisters had to look up to is gone. I know whenever
sitting in this room watching this movie. That is something to think about. You know, every 15 minutes is a lot of things to a lot of people. But I guess probably the biggest thing it is, it's a warning. It's a warning that we all should heed. You know, that this can happen to any of us, any of our families at any point in time. Don't take life for granted. I hope all of you saw and felt the emotions that the families had as a result of this. Nobody should ever suffer the loss of a child. Some years ago, my father told me that no parent should ever have to bury a child. It is something that they never will recover from. And I believe that. My own daughter has got to have surgery this week. And I know how painful that is. And I can't even imagine the feeling of losing a child. Nobody should ever have to experience that. I I want you to also think about the family of the arrested person and the arrested person themselves. Their lives are changed forever. They have to bear the shame of what happened. They will never recover from that. All of this because of alcohol and driving a motor vehicle. But I want all of you to remember, this is a movie. I'm fixing to tell you a real story that happened to me in 1987. And I ask you to bear with me because I assure you, I have only told this story a very limited number of times, and I almost can never get through it. So please bear with me. Back in 1987, I started my law enforcement career, and I had some great training officers. The Alabama State Troopers kind of took me under their wing, I guess you would say, just adopted me. I was just like a state trooper, but I was only 19 years old. You know, if every day that I could, I was working with them. I was learning. And I tell you, most of you in this room know Bernard Shepard and, you know, that type thing. He had nothing compared to what we were out writing tickets and working accidents. And, you know, we really, what I thought was we were doing what law enforcement was supposed to do. But one night in early December of 1987, we had been working. It was about a standard night, nothing really big had went on. And my partner, the trooper, was taking me home. And at that time, I lived between Roanoke and Wadley with my parents. And it was midnight. We got off at midnight. And we were about 3 miles from my house. And we received a call from our dispatch center that told us to respond to a 1050, which is a motor vehicle accident with injuries. At that time, we were the only highway patrol unit that was working Randolph, Cleveland, and Calhoun counties. And we were the closest one. So we responded from basically the Wadley-Roanoke area all the way to the Cleveland, Calhoun County line, just before you get to the interstate at I-20. And when we arrived there, before we arrived there, we were notified that it was an F-type. An F-type means it was a fatality accident. That was the first fatality accident that I had ever been to. I want you to understand that my parents, my grandparents, my brothers and sisters, I had never lost anybody close to me. Yes, I'd been to the funeral home. Yes, I had been to the church. But what was about to happen in my life, I wasn't prepared for. When we arrived on the scene, there was a Mustang that was off the shoulder of the road. The body had been already transported away because at that time we were over an hour away from the scene. We worked the scene, we finished up, and we went to Miller Funeral Home in Oxford. The story that we had been told was there was a school bus that was traveling back to Oxford. They were in the high school championship playoffs. One of the star athletes had became injured and was no longer able to play. He did not go with the football team. He went on his own. The buses were traveling back home. He passed the bus. He passed the chief of police at that time. Went on up the road a short distance and lost control and crashed. He died in a motor vehicle accident. When we finished working the scene, we went to first the Miller Funeral Home. And we went into where he was. He was my age, almost. I was only 2 years older lay on a slab, not in a coffin, but on a slab. I had never seen anything like that. We stayed there the whole time. I knew something was wrong. I could feel it in here, as we all have. Anyway, we finished there, and we had to do a death notification, and I can tell you, the trooper and I pulled up at his parents' house. They were from a fairly affluent family in Oxford at that time. I couldn't get out of the car. I could not go in that house. We left after the trooper made the notification. I want you to understand too that my partner was also young, and I don't know if he had ever done anything like that. But I failed to be at his side. The day after, we had to go back and talk to the family and tell them why this accident had happened. It was the result of alcohol. I did manage to go in that house. I've never saw so much pain in my life on someone's face. But they lost their child. My law enforcement career began and almost ended because of that motor vehicle accident. I still have a difficult time delivering death notifications, even in the movie. But I had some really close people to me to help me get through that. And they encouraged me along to continue in my career. I can't imagine. I didn't even know this person, but it was almost like looking in a mirror. I saw myself laying on that slab. I didn't know this person, but if it was that traumatic to me, you allow yourself or your friends to drink and drive, the damage that you will do will be felt for a lifetime. I know the prom is coming up this weekend, and I understand about peer pressure. And I'm a lot older than most of them, but I want you to know that from this point forward, if you are in a position that you don't feel comfortable in, where your friends or wherever you're at, they're drinking, and you don't know how you're going to get home, you pick up the telephone or your cell phone, and you call me. I'm in the phone book, and I will come get you. You won't be able to use that for an excuse. You won't. I don't know why my law enforcement career continued after 1987. I don't know if it was because ever how many years that is, 25, 26 years later, I would be standing up here in front of you trying to give you a warning. Don't drink and drive. I challenge each and every one of you, when you leave this auditorium, tell whoever you're closest to that when you drive, that you will be responsible and not drink and drive because you love them too much to cause that much pain in their life. I pray that while you're out on the roads and highways driving, that God is your co-pilot and rides beside you and keeps you safe. By the way, while I was up here talking, somebody else died. 15 minutes has passed. Somebody else died in this world. Think about it. That's what every 15 minute is. It's a warning. Think about it. I don't want you to be next. It is an honor and a privilege to serve you as Chief of Police for the city of Lono. I hope all of you have a wonderful remaining school year, and I hope all of you have a wonderful prom. God bless you.
I'd also like to thank each and every one that had a part of this program. If you watch this, I don't believe any of you probably really grasped the coordination that it took to put all of this together. And I'm so appreciative of Officer Caldwell. I'm so proud of Officer Caldwell. I had Officer Caldwell in my class when he was in the 8th grade. And to see someone to do what he's doing now and try to make a difference in a young person's life, it makes me proud of him and what he's doing with his life. I know you're tired, and I ask you just listen to me just for a second. I was asked this question yesterday. Why? Why are you going to allow that program to take place? And this is why we did this. It wasn't to make you shed tears or to scare you. The reason for this program is too often just by our human nature is that the only time we really examine ourselves is when tragedy happens. How many times when we lose a loved one or something happens at the funeral home or wherever, you say, I wish I'd have done this. I wish I'd have done this. Or if I'd have known this, I wouldn't have had that fight the day before. Or I'd have lived better. If I'd have just known this, if I'd have just known. Just like the song, One More Day. That really hits home with me, Callie, because 11 years ago I was at my brother's funeral who died in a car accident, and that song was played. And what if you just had one more day? What would you do? And that's the purpose of this. As sad as it was to see what Angel and Brother Tim and Cindy and the Browns were going through, it was just a movie. But folks, do not believe for 1 minute that Roanoke, Alabama is immune from that. Our human nature allows us to think we feel bad when bad things happen, but that's going to happen somewhere else. It's not going to happen here. Folks, the Bible teaches that God is not a respecter of persons. All of us are the same. And if we make bad decisions, bad things happen. With the prom coming up, and not just prom, the end of school in Florida, and for some reason we think we can go to Florida and the rules of physics don't apply anymore. They do. Everything you do matters. Every decision you make matters. You can do what's right 99 out of 100 times. That one time might put you where Anna's character was in her video. Make good decisions. Surround yourself with good people. And realize this, as my last thing, is that you are so blessed, every one of you, to have the leadership you have here, Mr. Foster, and the faculty and staff we have here, and Officer Caldwell, because they care about you. We're trying to prevent this. We're trying to be actors, not reactors. God forbid, we don't ever want anything like that to happen. We're just trying to make you open your eyes and realize that it can happen. And please, do everything you can to protect not only yourself, but your friends and your loved ones and everyone else from the pain that so many people have to endure every 15 minutes. Thank you.
Close your eyes, please. Everyone close your eyes. Please do not open them until I tell you, please. Picture someone driving down the street, your street, the street that you live on. Now, imagine Imagine you are driving your favorite car or your truck. Everyone's eyes should be closed. You're driving down the street, and you're imagining that you're driving your favorite car or truck, and you're drinking. Imagine yourself drinking. You're texting. A white light appears. White light appears. And you're bloody and very streaming. Loud. You don't know where the screams are coming from. Eyes are closed. What if the person that you love is involved in an accident with you? It could be your mom, your dad, sister, niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, or even your favorite cousin. If you never want to experience this type of pain, don't drink and drive. Open your eyes. Students, it is very important that you protect yourself. This is a special time for you. Prom is coming up. Don't ruin it by drinking. Why do we do what we do? We do it because we love you. Students, you are important to us. We care for you. The time that was put into this every 15-minute presentation was tremendous. But we did it because we care about you. We did it because we love you. We want the very best for you. We want to see you grow up to be young men, young women. We want you to be successful in life. Students, you can never live, and this is just my opinion, you can never live in a better community than what you do. It is amazing that the community has come together to put this type of presentation together for you. Everyone that was involved with this, and you're here, please stand. Everyone that was involved from the very beginning, from the ambulance services, police, the participants here, teachers, everyone, please stand at this time. Please stand if you're here. Parents that were involved, everyone. Please give them a hand. Now, we're getting ready to dismiss. But when you leave here, this is what I want you to think about for the rest of the time that you're here at Hammond High School. Why do we do what we do? We do it because we love you. We do it because we love you, and that's what we want you to think about from this day forward. There are many times you always ask why. And when you ask why, just remember that we do it because we love you. Prom Friday night, please come, have a great time, enjoy yourself. But just remember, don't drink and drive. Protect yourself and protect your family.